tested one too.
You see the reaction?
Yeah.
That's what we determined. That's what we determined.
The one kid that,
You guys hear me?
the camera's behind and all those players are.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
No.
You can hear me now.
No change.
You sound good though.
You can find a recorder for that smart aleck remark.
I hear it, I hear it. Anyway, I'll just talk really loud. Okay, but, since we got to experience daylight savings time, I thought I would test your knowledge of daylight savings time. We'll see what kind of knowledge you guys have. And just for your information, they're not very. Don't expect it. Okay, so, first question. Which,
Now we got it.
can we hear it now? Yeah, oh man, now we can hear it. Now we can hear it.
Turn it off.
Good job, man. Good job. Maybe I'll start singing. Ooh, that would be fun. Okay, first question. Which states in the United States do not observe daylight saving time? Arizona is one of them.
White.
Indiana.
What's that?
Alaska.
Indiana began observing daylight savings time in 2006, Drew. So up until 2006, you were right. You're only 20 years behind, but you're getting there. What was the other one? I thought I heard it said Hawaii. Yes, Hawaii is the other one. Good job. So that was a softball question. I want to give them a softball so they can maybe get one right. They kind of about myself. That's right. That's right. Okay, who wrote the book "The Waste of Daylight," which invented the concept of daylight savings?
Ben Franklin.
Ben Franklin is the wrong answer. Good try, though. Good try. Was not him.
Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson. Good try, but not him either.
What approximate area are we talking?
What's that?
What years approximate?
He wrote it in 1907.
Teddy Roosevelt.
No. You would. They have four people listed here, two of which you've already guessed: Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, which is wrong. So I'm going to limit it to William Willett and Woodrow Wilson. Take your pick. The WWs.
Woody Wilson.
What's that?
Woody Wilson.
Woody Wilson? Well, sorry. Wrong. William Willett wrote The Waste of Daylight in 1907. Anyways, which country was the first to implement daylight savings time?
Sweden.
Sweden. No, not correct.
The U.S.
U.S. No.
Great Britain.
No.
Germany.
Germany. Good job. Good guess. So how did you guess Germany?
Maybe it was something to
Pure-
do with the war.
Pure shot in the dark, huh? April 30, 1916, Germany and neighboring Austria were the first countries to advance their clocks nationwide in an effort to conserve coal for the war. So when was the daylight savings time first adopted in the United States?
1942.
1942 is not correct.
56.
Higher low.
56
Higher
is
low.
not correct.
64.
72.
72 is not correct.
Give us a hint on 1942. Higher low.
1942 is high.
1876.
1832. Here, I'm gonna let Mike, you finish. I gotta take this call, guys.
I was gonna say, that's not coming out of my phone, that's it.
What are his priorities?
I guess I know where we stand.
What's the answer to that one?
Oh, you gotta finish the answer to that one?
1918 was the first year in the United States.
which makes sense.
Yep.
At the end of World War I. Congress then repealed it in 1919, but some cities continue to use it in the 20s and 30s. How many countries in the world currently observe daylight savings time?
36.
That is too low. That is too high.
58.
75 is too high, 58 is too low. 68, we're getting really close.
66.
70 is correct.
Very good.
And then it says more than 70 countries use daylight savings time. Interesting. Which of these countries recently decided to abolish daylight savings time? China, Japan, Mexico, or Russia?
All of the above.
That was a good guess, but that is incorrect. Russia is the correct answer. So they switched to year-round daylight savings time in 2011 and then reversed course in 2014. And they have not moved their clocks forward since.
There you go. Good job. We're getting more right with flights.
Just keep asking, you guys just get your money out. That's all we care.
That's right.
Thanks, Mike, appreciate it.
Okay, I think, pay up.
Okay,
Yeah, I know it.
Bradford,
Yeah.
bring up another one.
Okay, we got no Paul here today, so Jack, got a joke in the hopper?
Yeah, maybe I do.
All right.
I told Paul I wasn't gonna do this anymore.
Obviously, the joke master has been AWOL for a while.
I better have the. Yeah, it is. You're good, Bill. I gotta think a minute, I wasn't prepared for this.
There was these three politicians who had a car accident. They ended up in a farmer's field. A little while later, the farmer found them, and he just dug a hole and buried all three of them. About an hour later,
Lots of dollars.
law enforcement showed up, and the deputy says, "What'd you do?" Well, the farmer says, "I buried them." Well, the deputy says, "Were they all dead?" "Well," says the farmer, "two of them said they weren't, but you know, you can't believe anything a politician says."
I think we should have Jack.
Don't forget, you need to vote tomorrow for one of these politicians.
Dead or alive.
Country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrims' ride, from every mountainside let freedom ring. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We pray. Our Father, we come to you on this beautiful fall day. We thank you for the work that Lions Club does, and we thank you for us being able to be part of it. Now bless this food to our body and us to your service. In Jesus' name, amen. So last week we talked a little bit about raising money to buy this machine, this eye machine. And we got a note that Northwest Iowa needs to come up to $9,000. They have $8,100. And I mentioned this to you last week, and my gosh, you guys came through. We're gonna, with the $250 that we voted for last week, along with the money you guys have turned in, we're at the 900, I think, about, aren't we? Yeah. So, thank you. If you still wanna, if you forgot about it and wanna give some money, give it to, we can always put it to the pancake supper, right? Because we need money for that too. Okay, let's do the school report. We'll start with you, Bill.
Well, we got, two good things and one good thing and two not so good things, but Unity came close, during the week. Last Friday night, they went to Cherokee and in football, and I think it was the second round, and they lost to Cherokee 40-14. And it was a team that, Unity had beaten earlier during the year, so. And then volleyball lost in 5 sets to Carroll Kemper in the Class 3A Regional 6 final. And what I read in the paper is Unity was doing well the first half, and then things turned around in the second half, and Carroll Kemper ended up winning in 5 sets. In Class 2A cross country track meet they ran on Friday. The girls came home with some hardware. They had a good team this year, and they placed three in the top 15. They had Katie Young, who finished 3rd, and Cambry Deckers was right behind her in 4th place, and then they had another one that was in the top 15. So that was really good. And then the boys overall also had a good year, and they finished 5th place at state. That's it.
And we'll see Floyd Valley. We went to 3A cross country on Friday. It was a little windy and a little chilly, but Natalie Anderson ran extremely well. She's been leading a lot of the races here in Northwest Iowa all year. She finished in 6th place in a loaded girls race. A couple kids from Pella were ahead of her. Their team score was 31, which was slightly higher than last year's 23. So competition there was phenomenal. Everybody ran a really good race on a tough course, and we're excited about how they finished. Isaac Hummel ran and placed 20th on the boys' side, and then things were really stacked up, and our next runner, Thatcher Don, came in like 90th place. So crazy to think of the competition level there and how close everybody was. Really cool environment if you've never been there. Take a look at that. You got people running all over a golf course, chasing kids that are running really fast. 3A boys from Western Dubuque, Quentin Nauman ran the fastest cross-country race ever by an Iowa male, 14:58 for 3.1 miles, which is a crazy time. So there's 2 other kids right behind him, and they had their own golf cart leading their little pack, and then everybody else is significantly behind coming there. But really fun to watch our kids compete there. That finishes our fall activities, and we start our winter activities here in about a week. So we have parent-teacher conferences. We started those last Thursday. Our elementary has conferences again tonight, and our middle school, high school tomorrow night. And then we take the day off on Friday. And so you guys always like to want to share that we aren't going to school. So I don't know what that is, but that's good. So
You are doing community service during that time then, right?
we're still working. I'm still working, so come see me in the office on Friday. I'd be happy to visit with you. So tomorrow we have an election going on. So we have 2 District 3 and District 5 school board elections. Christine Forselman has been on the board for a little while. She's running unopposed for District 5. District 3, we have Clay Young and Sarah Youngers who are running for that seat. So make sure you head out and cast your vote for one of those 2 excellent candidates. And then we also have Public Measure TK. If you've seen that on the ballot, that is a revenue purpose statement for the school. And basically what that is saying is simply how the school district can spend their funds generated by the 1-cent sales tax money throughout the state. So you can read through it. Not a lot has changed, but the legislature has updated some of the things that are allowed for us to spend our money on. And we really desire for you guys to vote yes to allow us to continue to use those saved dollars, the 1-cent sales tax money, so we can continue to put new roofs on the buildings and
How much did that bring in a year?
That's a really good question. Between our PEPAL and Save Dollars is about a little over $2 million that we can continue to invest into the school district. Infrastructure-wise, pays for computers, pays for roofs, any physical things that
Tearing
you
down
see.
trees.
Yeah, taking down trees, all of those kind of things. So, necessary things to upkeep the facilities that we have, and we have great facilities, and we appreciate the continued support of the community and the investment of the community into the opportunities that we provide our students. So, it's a long public measure. You don't have to read it, just vote yes. It does absolutely nothing to your taxes. So this will not impact your taxes at all, your property taxes or anything of that nature. We're not asking for any additional money, simply asking for more flexibility in how to spend that.
Last week I was listening to the Daily Grind, and the superintendent from Sioux Center said they're down 60 students
Yeah.
from the year before. What about
Yeah.
MOC?
MLC Floyd Valley this year is down 37 kids from where we were the year before. Siouxland Conference schools right now, every single one of them is down students. So where we've seen students is we've seen families move out of our community to go find employment in other places for a different opportunity. We've also seen some families who've just said, it's maybe a little safer to live somewhere else, which is a weird thing to say in Orange City, because I believe that we have a safe community. But from an immigration perspective, the state of Iowa is not as kind as maybe some of the surrounding states from that perspective. So we've seen students move to Minnesota and Nebraska in that capacity as well. It's a really good question. So we were not anticipating losing students. We were hoping to remain neutral in terms of enrollment. So a 37 student drop for us is about a $330,000 loss. So in terms of funding. So our SBO. So Kim and I are going to work through that this afternoon, actually. So it'll be fun. But really good question. Any other questions that you guys have in regards to the school right now? So.
Pass the mic over to Dave.
Let's start with football. The football team played at Midland on Saturday, overtime, and won in the second overtime. So that was a nice victory. They played this Saturday here against Doane, and that game starts at noon. So watch your timing there. So that's football. A couple games left before we get to the end of the season there. Volleyball beat the two city teams this past week, Briarcliff and Morningside, and have clinched the conference championship again. And Harold, didn't you say?
Coach Vandenbosch, this is 9th conference title.
Yeah, and third in a row, I think.
Right, third in a row.
You bet. So that's something else. They play their final regular season match tomorrow night here against Waldorf. And you'd expect them to beat Waldorf. So we're going to be the top seed as far as the conference tournament's concerned. That takes place on Saturday. I presume it'll be in the evening as we get to the other things and you hear all the things that are happening Friday and Saturday. That's something else. In basketball, the men's team is now 3-0. The women will start this week. But if you haven't seen them play on TV or whatever, I'll tell you, there are some guys that can put the ball in the hole. Jesse Van Kalsbeck and Jalen Langsy combined for 85 points, the two of them. 44 for Jesse. That's the second time he's been over 40 points. And Jalen with 41. That reminds me of a story that Hot Rod Hundley told when he said as he was playing with Elgin Baylor, we combined for 75 points, Elgin and I. I had 2 and Elgin had 73. So yeah, that was something else. But they are fun to watch. And they will have a home game this week as they play Viterbo. Now, when you start thinking about basketball and Friday and Saturday, on Friday there will be 2 games. Football starts at noon, and that's when Dort is going to be playing I can't remember who the two schools are. John Brown is one, and Viterbo is the other one, I think. All right, so the Dorp women will be playing, and our women will be playing. Our men do not play on Friday, and those games are scheduled Friday afternoon. Okay, then on Saturday, that's when the football team starts at noon. Dorp would be playing the other team, also starting at noon. At 2 o'clock, our team plays Viterbo, who played John Brown the day before, and then our guys play at 4 o'clock, and I think that means the volleyball will probably start about 7 or something like that. Any questions about that stuff? Yes?
Didn't Northwestern play twice over the weekend, the men?
Yeah.
We did, yeah, we
So
beat both Clark.
Wouldn't they be 4-0 now? Didn't they win, play 2 the weekend
When was
before?
this?
I think they're 3-0. I could be wrong. They haven't lost it.
4-0, that one was kind of a screw.
Central.
Who's the other one?
Central
They beat
was
Central. Did they beat
Central.
something before that?
That was,
Kansas.
Central was an exhibition.
That's right.
There's that
You're right.
exhibition game.
They're 4-0. They're gonna win so many this year, it's gonna be hard to keep track. Okay, soccer. Last week, our soccer teams, men and women, played their regular season game against Dorp. The Dorp women beat us, so that eliminated our women's soccer team from any future play. So their season ended right there. Our men beat Dorp, so that put them into the conference tournament because they won the conference and had to play Mount Marty here on, you're already shaking your head over there, aren't you? You bet.
That was a sad day.
Yeah, it was, if you can believe it, it was 0-0 after the regular play, then it was 0-0 after the first overtime, and 0-0 after the second overtime, and by this time my paint had dried. Anyway, they then went into this kickoff thing, you know, where you have the goalies there and each player gets to kick the ball in there, and by golly, Mount Marty beat us. Now, I was talking to Warren Zweer this morning, who is the dad of our coach, and he said Mount Marty's strategy was, because as I watched both of those overtimes, yeah, I did, and the ball never got down into our court. Mount Marty just stayed on there and didn't try to score, just tried to stop us, and it worked. My God, the rats beat us. So, any other questions about that? I can give you that board.
We always say baseball's a cruel game, cause you can hit
Yeah.
a ball hard as heck and get it out.
Jason.
Well, we had about 4 shots went off the crossbar, you know? Great shots, and the sad thing is, Midland got beat also by Briar Cliff, so we'd have had a nice clear shot to go through that tournament, but if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, every day be Christmas, right?
Just one thing, I talked to Dan Zweer, I texted him after the game and so forth, and he said, that was tough, you know, to lose a game like that, after coming in the way it was, but he said, this is such a great group of young men. He said, I'm so proud of them that it's still considered a great season, so that's a good thing to think about.
Thank you, Dave.
Well, I don't have a whole lot to report. At the elementary school, Christian school, we are in between seasons, so we don't have any games to talk about. Our music programs are doing some things. We had orchestra festival last week. This week there's honor choir and honor band that we have going on. So those kids are busy, and we ended our first quarter a little over a week ago, and then so now we have parent-teacher conferences tomorrow night and Thursday night, and we'll be joining Mike with no school on Friday. So, you know, all of our kids will hang out together on Friday.
Will you be in your office too?
Maybe. I might go over to Mike's office and chat with him.
You can do that.
Yeah.
You're welcome anytime.
There you go.
Well, with that, I'm going to introduce a young lady by the name of Colby Vlietstra, here from Orange City, and she's going to be speaking today about LifeWise Academy, and she said that this is going on right now in Lamar and also at Boyden Hall, and beginning in Orange City. I will let you take it over from here. Okay?
letting me come. I will say, this is actually an extremely fun group. I'm really excited to be here. You guys have made me laugh in the, I don't know, past 30 minutes, like multiple times. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to get part of this group. Like, I don't know how you get an invite. Well,
We're
yeah,
always
like,
looking for members, hey.
I know, right? Well, I say yes to lots of things, so I'll have to, I'll have to check my calendar.
We'd love to have you.
Well, yeah, like he said, so I'm Colby Vlietstra. I am married to Travis Vlietstra. If you happen to know Bill and Judy Vlietstra, those are his parents. We have 4 kiddos, 9, 7, 4, and 3. And 2 of them are part of MOC Public School. So as a program director of this LifeWise Academy and my children going to the public school, I'm extremely invested. And so that's kind of what makes this extra special for me, that I'm not just somebody, you know, from another state coming in to try to implement something. I'm part of this community, my kids are part of the school, and I'm just really excited about this. A little bit more about myself, and actually the tie into the Lions Club, is I was in the military. I was in the Air Force for 10 years, so I'm part of the Legion here in Orange City. So tonight we get to meet up and have a meal, which will be fun. And actually, half of that time, I was an optometry technician, and so we would give all our old glasses to the Lions Club. So I thought that was really sweet when I thought about that. And yeah, I'm also a business owner in town. I own Kinderzone and Indoor Playground with Jamie and Laura Yeltema. And they send their kids to the Christian school, which I think is a super sweet combination. Like, we're both representing kind of both sides of the community, which is really fun. And then, as well as the Legion, I'm part of the Sioux County Veterans Commissioners. Me and a couple other gentlemen help Kathy Wetter, who's the Sioux County Veterans Affairs lady. I can't remember her exact title. And so we meet once a month, just kind of make sure that all of our veterans are getting taken care of, which is really, really special. And so there'll be that free meal at the Terrace View Event Center in Sioux Center. So if you guys know any veterans, or if you're veterans yourself, for Sioux County, that's the free meal that Hy-Vee sponsors, which is lovely. Let's see. I feel like there's always something I'm gonna miss. So, okay, I am the program director for LifeWise Academy, and I have been that since about July, and it has been an incredible blessing to be a part of this. God knows my personality, and He knows that this was exactly what I was meant for. And I love children, and I love being able to spread the word and spread the gospel, and so the combination of that is just incredible. And I think we can all agree that the gospel provides such a beautiful character education for kids that you can't compare to anything. And some of the studies that have been done have basically talked about, anxiety, depression, things like that on the rise. Kids are, some kids in public schools just are lost. They don't have any guidance. They don't know who they are, what they're living for, what their purpose is. And so LifeWise Academy so that's why LifeWise Academy exists. And we want to be able to implement this into the public schools. Oh, sorry, let me get my picture here so I can stay on track. So what LifeWise Academy is, it's a Bible education class for public school students during school hours. And so you might be thinking, how is that possible? During school hours, that's kind of always the piece of the puzzle that throws people off. And what a little bit of a history lesson is, in 1952, there was a Supreme Court ruling that ruled release time religious instruction is legal as long as you have these 3 things in place. You are off premises, so you're not doing anything at the school. You're privately funded, so the school's not having that, they're not shown as supporting it. And then it's parent approved. So it's not like we're forcing every 4th grader to go learn the Bible, which is, where some opposition could come about. So a parent does have to fill out the permission form to allow their child to go. And so as long as you have those 3 things in place, it's perfectly legal for this release time religious instruction. which is incredible. And so that is why, if you've looked up LifeWise Academy at all, Joel Penton is the CEO who founded this back in 2018. If you know who he is, he used to play for the Ohio State University, and his joke is that if you know him when he played at Ohio State University for football, then you know way too much about sports, because he wasn't ever, or maybe you have a great memory, but he's a pretty awesome guy, and I got to meet him in Ohio. Ohio is where it started, and it has just grown from there. Ohio, Illinois, and Iowa are actually the states that it grew to first, and now they are officially live in 30 states. So 30 states are implementing this LifeWise Academy in their public schools. And there's, I think, about 6 confirmed programs that are getting started. And so how do we do it? What LifeWise Academy really wants to do is they want to be gospel-centered. They want to do anything with excellence, because anything worth doing for the Lord is worth doing with excellence. And they want to be community-driven. One of the things that I absolutely love about this is the fact that we're community-driven. LifeWise Academy doesn't say that we want to be the church. We're not the church, but we are a Bible education class that can lead people to church, which would be incredible. And so knowing that is where in our community, especially a community like ours, we have 13 some churches in our town in Orange City. And so when we have a child that, especially if they're potentially unchurched students, we can say, and they might have deep questions, we can say, hey, do you live in Alton? Let me get you connected to the youth pastor over there at Alton Reformed, or are you just next door to First Reformed Church? Let me get you in contact with somebody. And so that beautiful picture of being able to get families with children to step in their church, to step their feet into a church, is just such a blessing. Like, if that's something that comes out of this, it's just, gives you goosebumps. And they want to be gospel-centered with character traits. So as far as the curriculum goes, I have a couple things up here, but it's a really sweet ability to add these character traits in with your curriculum and with your teachings. So one thing that they've talked about is, it almost feels like since the 1900s, when they started taking the Bible out of the public schools, like I mentioned earlier, kids are starting to feel lost. They might not know what gender they are. I mean, there's a whole conglomeration of things, right? And so these character traits that we tie back to the gospel and to Jesus, like this one says compassion, love in action, showing I care by helping someone who is suffering. When we're talking about it in the aspect of the Bible and with Jesus and what he's done for us, we can also then take that and say, okay, well, how do I show compassion to my teachers? How do I show compassion to my parents, my friends? And so being able for them to bring it back into the schools with their friends really grows their character building, which is something that they've actually seen with some studies. Even though this has been going on since 2018, which doesn't seem like too long ago, they've had some studies of just wonderful character building in these kids' hearts, which has been incredible. And so for us, kind of our local impact is that we just got started. We have had 2 classes so far, and it has been absolutely incredible. The way LifeWise Academy works is that they have like a 10 or 11-step process. And so you first start off with signing a community interest list. You need about maybe 50 people to kind of start spearheading it, because you really want your community to be invested. If your community doesn't want something like this, then you're not going to want to implement something like this, or it's not going to thrive. And so we were able to do that back in 2022. Our community interest list got started growing, and then it built a little more in 2024. And so that's when we just got started in the spring. We had a steering team that got built together, and they started talking to the schools, asking questions. What grades do we want to go into? The curriculum for LifeWise Academy is from kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade. So we could be in the middle school, we could be in the high school as well. And so that's pretty incredible. And then they hired me on as the program director in July. And once they hired me on, now we have also an advisory leadership board. And we have 5 people on that board so far. And what I said about the community driven in the churches, I'm really excited. What I'm looking for the leadership board is I kind of want somebody from each church. And so, I mean, obviously that'd be like 13 people or more, which would be kind of crazy. But to at least have a good representation of our community, I think that is so, so important. So I have New Hope represented, First Reformed Church, Trinity Church, and Living Water represented at the moment. And so there's somebody, if you go to any of those churches, you might be able to find somebody to talk to. And yeah, the classes have been wonderful. We've started in 4th grade, which is what we have, that's kind of our, foot in the door. We're just starting with 4th grade this year. So in the elementary school. And we want to grow at some point in time. We'd love to grow to 2nd grade, 3rd grade, and 5th grade in the elementary school. I personally, especially because, like I said, I'm part of the community, I don't necessarily want to go into the middle school quite yet. I know that, Scott Starkweather and his My Choice program is incredible. And just what he has been doing and what he has been growing is amazing. But maybe we jump to the high school because even their curriculum has an opportunity to have, it's an accredited class, so they would get a credit for it, which would be really neat. So just more logistics pieces. We're busing the students, the 4th graders, to Trinity right now, because Trinity is just the closest, basically, building to the new elementary school. Since it's a new elementary school, there's really nothing over there. There are a lot of LifeWises that might be able to walk across the street, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a church, but Trinity was really open to having LifeWise there, and so we're busing them to LifeWise, or to Trinity, over their lunch hour between 12 and 12:50. So it is a really quick turnaround, which is really common because we're taking kind of a lunch and a recess. Because we also wanted to, especially being into our schools, we don't want to take the kids away from anything, like a special or something that's, still really important. I mean, it may not be like a math, but we still don't want to take them away from the specials, and we want the teachers to feel valued as well. We don't want the teachers to feel like, we're taking kids away from your class and, they're kind of questioning why. And we are using Morris Reformed Church buses right now, so they have buses. Jerry Vermeer is our incredible bus driver who said yes to that, which is awesome. And we actually have 34 students signed up so far, which is super incredible. I thought we would start slow, but I feel like it's just building, which is wonderful. And let's see. We plan to go from October to April so that the kiddos can really get implemented in their classroom, get to know their classmates and their teacher, and not take away that September time of them really building that relationship. And then, we'll end in April because nobody really wants to touch May because there's a lot going on in May. So with the Tulip Festival and all that good stuff. So we'll end in April. So it's just kind of a 7-month program. And the school is incredible. They are packing lunches for them. So they eat lunch. And the way it's basically structured is they're eating lunch. We're kind of teaching them a little character trait Bible education. They talk about head, heart, and hands. So they want to really get it soaked into their head. How do you live that out? How do you really believe that in your heart? And then how do you live that out the rest of your life with your family, with your community, with even your teachers? And that's really special. And then we also try to do an activity because we know we're kind of taking away a recess. So we want them to be able to get up, move around, and a lot of times that activity will correlate with the curriculum that we're teaching for that day. And so what we need connectors, funders, and doers. So anybody, that we could use teachers and volunteers, especially as we grow. As far as the teacher goes, you just need kind of a 2-year experience in whether it's Sunday school or teaching in a classroom setting. And I have a couple of our strategic plan, this is our strategic plan. I have some items back on that table back there. If you're interested in taking something, there's a lot more information, and especially that big picture packet that even talks about the LifeWise Academy statement of faith, what their values are, because that's really, really important too, especially when I talk to churches. We want to make sure that the church aligns with the values that LifeWise Academy has. And so this strategic plan basically says everything that I just said and talks about all that. And then on the back is kind of the funding aspect of that, what that looks like. LifeWise Academy says that the national average is, for us, it costs us about $30 a child to really implement the curriculum, get everything going, be able to have teachers and staff and bus drivers, because I'm sure we'll need more. And we actually will probably, hopefully, buy a bus someday and slap a sweet LifeWise Academy thing on the side. Like you'd mentioned too, Boynton Hall and Lamar's has LifeWise Academy right now. And they've had it since 2022, implemented in their elementary schools, and I think they've grown now to even their middle schools. And it has grown, they have seen just amazing impact on the kiddos. I think Lamar's has over 140 kids that are a part of it now. And since we've had 2 classes already, I had one mom text me and say her son said that it was even more fun than recess, which she said was like the best compliment he could ever give us. So I thought that was pretty cute. But I'm excited to have some more impact stories. I think that'll be really sweet to just hear, the kids' hearts. And yeah, so that'll be fun. And so I do have some of those things back there. This is kind of supporting a student. You could give $30 or you could give more in regards to that, like I mentioned. This one's a quick little brochure pamphlet that just says 3 key questions. And it talks a little bit about what I had just mentioned, how we're doing it, why we're doing it, and what that takes. And this one is the big picture packet if you're interested. And yeah, I think that's it. So, do you guys have any questions?
How many
Yes.
days a week, or?
Great question. 1 day a week. And we follow the school schedule. So right now, the 4th graders are meeting on Thursdays. And so we'll work with the school, with Mr. Landheist and Mr. Stishka to really figure out if we implement 2nd grade, 3rd grade, and 5th grade, what does that look like? What is the best for them, the best for the school, and how do we go about that? But it'll always just be 1 day a week. So we're just taking them out of 1 day. Yeah?
When you do
Oh, sorry.
more, no, I'm sorry,
No.
go ahead, Ray. If you have more grades, do you
Yeah.
implement different days, or would you be the same day for each grade?
Yeah, good question. We are going to figure that out with the school. Ideally, it would probably be best to do it on different days, just to make it kind of easier, like we have 2nd grade on Tuesdays, 3rd grade on Wednesdays, but there may be a scenario that if we're taking, like if the 4th grade on Thursdays is the last lunch, maybe 2nd grade is the first lunch on Thursdays, we could take 2nd graders and 4th graders on Thursdays, and we would just kind of have a quick turnaround with the bus, which we could do that too, but that'll be something that we wanna check with them, and kind of depends on, if we can get some more teachers and that kind of thing too. We're already at 34, so it's kind of like, ooh, we're getting close to maybe needing to split it up, but I don't know if you guys know Bob Cleveringa. He's our teacher right now. He has been amazing. He has years of youth experience, and it's just incredible. It's incredible. Yeah.
You mentioned Scott's program there with the middle school.
Yeah.
Of course, Lyle Lundgren has had the FCA going in here.
Yeah.
And you said that 1950 Act, or whatever that was, that
Yeah.
had to be outside of the school.
Yeah.
I think your school is probably amenable to something in school. I don't want to get Mark in trouble here. But we had that same thing, Mike, we had that same thing at Sioux Center with the Fellowship for Christian Athletes.
Yeah.
And we could continue to meet there. Boynton Hall did run into a problem for a while, because until somebody complains, you can do that. Is that something you want to do or not?
Yeah, probably not. I mean, it's starting to get, even from talking to a lot of people about this, the elementary school used to do like a catechism on Thursday mornings. I don't know if anybody, you guys remember that. and then they would bus them to school after like by 9 o'clock or something like that. And I'm not sure when that stopped, but what I think especially this LifeWise Academy and even society today, we really want to be above board. I mean, we want to be able to make sure that there is really somebody could come up with an opposition, but there's really no way that you can dispute it. And so I think being off school premises is extremely important. Because, yeah, I'm sure you guys have heard lots of news articles or prayer teams praying, maybe at the flagpole at school and then getting in trouble with that. I think what Scott, and I actually had a great conversation with him, what Scott Starkweather is able to do, he meets before school hours. So that's a kind of a different ballgame where he's not meeting during school hours, even though he's on premises, but that's kind of what makes that legal. And so because we're trying to really implement this during school hours, that is why all these things kind of need to exist because of that Supreme Court Act. And I think it's really special. I do youth group on Wednesday nights at our church too, and so I know a lot of the students, and I love our community, and our kids are involved in a lot of things. They are involved in tons of stuff. So being able to have something during the day where the parents aren't adding one more thing to their night or one more thing to their morning feels really special. So that's kind of exciting. But we really want to work with the school, and I'm sure even in today's world, the school's under a little more pressure to make sure that things are done right, so that, we want our public school to be happy.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I've heard about this, it was in the
Yeah.
paper and everything, but, your funding for this first year, how'd you do that? Because I didn't hear anything about funding.
About funding?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have really just kind of used social media at the moment. I've gone around to some businesses and spoken just maybe to a few individuals. So as far as, and then I've met at, I spoke an announcement at a couple of churches. So I'm trying to also get around to the churches. We really don't have much funds right now. But that's why I'm also really excited about this, especially being a business owner. Because I know what it's like to get a letter, saying, hey, we're a new organization in town, can you give us some funds? So I personally am trying to get around everywhere, which is why I'm here at the Lions Club. I just wanted to spread the word. And I think the more that this goes on, maybe for this year, the more people are hearing about it. And, if this is something that stirs your heart and you would love to give, that's incredible. And I think the blessing of it is that realistically it feels like it doesn't take too much to make it run, which I think is amazing, because Orange City has an insane amount of incredible organizations that all want money. And so when I got hired on, I'm like, oh man, how am I gonna go around to people and say, yeah, but I have one more really great organization that you can give towards. Because Trinity's not charging us rent, so we, don't have to pay rent for that. They're loaning us the bus. And as far as being a teacher or a bus driver, you can be volunteer or you can be a paid staff member. So realistically, between just the curriculum, having LifeWise Academy, maybe buying Bibles for the classroom, we need to buy some more Bibles that we keep there, but we also want to be able to gift the kids with Bibles too. Buying t-shirts, trying to maybe raise money for a bus. I don't know anything about buses, but hopefully we can figure that out, because then once we get our own bus, we could take anybody with a CDL and then the passenger edition or whatever that's called. Whereas now, just for insurance purposes, we have to have Morris Reformed Church bus drivers. So on the back of the strategic plan kind of says more of like a closer number. And we are, since we're so new, we've really only been going for a couple of months. We don't know like exactly what we're gonna need as far as funding goes, but their national average basically says that our small community serving one elementary school right now would maybe need $40,000 or less. And that's for paying paying some of the staff members for, like I said, buying Bibles, shirts, being able to do great things for these kids, you know, buying a bus, just being able to kind of implement all those logistics pieces too. Did that answer your question?